Welcome to Excel for Economics. In this one, we'll be looking at logical operators. So logical statements can be coded in Excel, where we can say 5 is equal to 3. We can see that that's false. Is 5 greater than 3? And we can see that that's true. And this is what it returns. It's true and false. If we wanted to get this into a number, we can do 1 times 5 equals 3. We know this is false. That gives us a 0, and it's going to give us a 1 if it's true. 5 greater than 3. We see that we can get a 1. We can also change this, and we know that 5 does not equal 3, so we're going to put not in front, and that's going to change the answer from false to true. We can also have conditions where we could greater than or equal to 5 greater than or equal to 3, true, and we can have 5 less than or equal to 3, and we see that that's false. We can also combine where both conditions have to be true. So 5 is equal to 3. We know that's not true. 5 is greater than 3. We know that's true. So one of these is false. So it comes back to it's false. If both are true, then it'll come back with true. If both are false, it'll come back with false. Then there's or. So either condition can be true. So 5 is equal to 3. 5 is greater than 3. Second one is true. We can see that this comes back as true. Okay, and you can see this when you go into the actual function. You press the FX button, and you can see that the logical saying, this first one's false, this one's true, therefore overall it must be true. The exclusive one, or, means that both conditions have to be the case. So XOR 5 is equal to 3. We know that's false. 5 is less than 3. We know that's false. It comes back with a false. Well, what if 5 is equal to 5? True. 5 is greater than 3. That's true. So it's giving us a false. So one of the things, so both are false, it'll give us false. Both are true, it'll give us a false. Well, what happens if there's at least one which is different than the other? 5 is equal to 3. 5 is greater than 3. Can't be both, so it's true. So it's saying at least one difference in the logical output. We can also use this on data directly, like we did before in the earlier stuff, where we can say this is greater than data 2. You can see that that's false, and a combination of true and false. We can also ask if this condition data 1 is greater than 0, and we can get a true false condition. Next thing we can do is we can include if statements. So if, and what we'll do is we'll put this in saying logical test. So data 1 greater than data 2. Okay, we can see that it's false for row 19. So if the value is true, we want 10. And if it's false, we're going to put in minus 10. Now we can put in functions in these things, or we could have other default values, or they could equal data 1 or data 2, depending on what you want it to. Okay, and then you just say, okay, and we're going to fill this down. And we can see that this is a combination of true and false, true, false, going all the way down. So we can also set this up as a condition, say, oh, well, what if data 1 is greater than 0, Then I'm going to do the same where I do 10 and minus 10. And then if I want to fill this all the way down, I get the conditions right where I want it. This is less, it's negative. This one's more than 0. We get a 10. And we can also check to see if both conditions are true using the AND statement that we saw up here. So we can say if, and so we can embed functions within functions. Data 1 is greater than data 2, and data 1 is greater than 0. So if both of those are true, then our if statements can provide us with this binary back and forth. So here we see that both are true. Both conditions are true. We can see that over here in columns D and E. Now, what if we get an error? So we're going to get an error because we're trying to divide by 0. So we can determine if something is an error by just asking is the result of this formula an error? I want to divide. We can see that comes back as false. Okay, so this one is true because it's going to try to divide minus 2 by 0. So that's going to give us an error. So then we can set up is if error. And what this will do is say, give us data 1 divided by data 2. But if it's an error, give me a minus 10 as the outcome. So we can see that here we divided by 0. Here we divided by 0, and so on. Okay, well, we'll see you in the next video.